All right. Oh, we're live. Welcome to quarantine live stream. Hope everyone out there is being safe. I got some special guests today. We're covering the topic of. Let me stop that loop. We're covering the topic of what do Ortho Labs do during quarantine. So we had two guests. Steve Szara, don't know where he's at. He's probably still sleeping. We've been texting him, trying to get him to wake up. So. Steve, if you're on here, go ahead and log in on that link I emailed you. And then our next guest is Josh and Connie Dobson. And I just pulled you up, so say hi.
Hello.
Oh,
And this is from Dobson Ortho Lab. We've had them on before. They're the famous lab that was on How It's Made, and they did all that work for that. So I appreciate you coming on such short notice.
Well, thank you for having us.
Excellent. So,
it's not like there's an abundance of work to do.
exactly. Yeah, we're all kind of, we don't know what to do with ourselves. So, that's another reason I want to do this stream is I want it to kind of let all the other ortho labs, hey, we're all in the same boat on here, on this. We're all dealing with the same issues. So, I thought I'd get some different perspectives from different labs. Hoping to have a few more of these. I'm sure I'll have the time. I don't know if you can see the cases behind me, but they're kind of dwindling down a little bit. So how about y'all?
We've got the work that we had in-house from before. We pretty much are pushing out this week the last of the brunt of it. We do still have a little bit of retainers and stuff like that, but the thing that we're worried about right now is, we can ship these out. This is for a lot of the doctors' personal home addresses, but how quickly are they going to pay? Because and obviously we're kind of last on the totem pole, so
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
we were just having that discussion, Sarah and I, and wondering we will have a decent month this month because we had a great first 2 weeks. But will they pay? And I understand it, yeah, we're on the low end of the totem pole with their bills, but I'm sure there's going to be a huge rush coming once, and if everything kicks back in. Oh, I'm getting something. Y'all hear that?
I hear that, yeah. Did Steve finally wake up?
Yeah. Yeah, he was calling in, but on a different line. Let me see if I can invite him in. We're going to give him a hard time.
This is a video production at its best.
Yes. Yeah, this is
On
gotta
the
love
fly.
Yes. All right. Steve, I sent you another link, so hopefully that link will get you into this call. Because I think what Hangouts does, they've changed a lot of things. That's why I'm having issues. What Hangouts does is they changes the URL on me, like on the fly. And so what I usually send out isn't the same.
Well, and the problem being right now is everybody's using video conferencing, so
Yeah.
bandwidth is terrible.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that we have Spectrum, and they used to do, I work from home, and they used to do like maintenance in the middle of the day because everybody's at work. So they did all the whatever updates. And now they don't do that. I guess they do it at midnight or something like that. So I guess, oh yeah, quality is bad. So I got to change the bitrate again. Yeah, I got to tell my kids to make sure they're not streaming. I gave that job to my wife. I was like, monitor them, make sure they don't get on without thinking. And Connie just got back from kicking y'all's kids off.
Yep.
Well, that's
We were just talking before we went live. We should, maybe just bring the kids in the room. They can probably figure it out for us.
yeah. Hey, yeah, we were having the audio issue. They probably could have found that out pretty quick. And usually my son does the live stream, and he does it at church. He does this thing. Oh, there's Steve.
Hi.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Just woke up.
There we go.
I I got a special message here. If it's 1 o'clock your time, isn't it 12 o'clock right now?
Yeah,
Or am I
my
going crazy?
clock says 12:19 right now.
Yeah, but I thought we were going on at 1, which would be 2 o'clock my time.
1 Eastern.
1 Eastern. I don't know.
Yeah. Just admit you were sleeping.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's been a rough couple of
Rough
weeks.
Well, couple weeks, I guess. I'm trying to fix my camera mount here. My kid's been messing with this stuff, and you know how that goes. I think that way. Sort of. Well, how is everybody? We go through the jokes?
No,
we
you're,
haven't gotten there yet.
yeah, we were just giving you a hard time on live in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know. It's just one of those things. One of those days. Today's one of those days. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. Today's one of those days. I mean, typically, I've been pretty happy, you know, but today's one of those days that's sort of a bummer. It's like cloudy out. The weather sucks. And we would be getting on planes right now to be coming to see you right now. So it's
Right.
like, oh, you know, it's like, I was just telling my wife, I'm like, we were literally, I mean, a couple hours from now, I'll be heading to the airport. And that was like, I couldn't wait to be there, and we'd be having a drink right. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, what a bummer.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I have that, we were going to discuss that after the dad jokes. So let's hold off on that. We'll start off on a light note, and maybe we can lighten your bummer day with some dad jokes.
Everyone's going back to work? What are you going to tell me?
That all I can give you is
You're like, no.
just dad jokes. Which, thank you to Connie for finding all these for us.
You're welcome.
And
I hope.
did you send the same ones to everybody?
No.
No, it should be
Everybody's different?
15 different jokes for everybody.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is how I thought it could go down. Is we'll start with Josh. You tell Steve the joke, and if someone breaks character, they get a point. And then Steve, you tell one to me, and then I tell one to Josh. We'll just go in a circle. And I was just going to say the first one that gets 5 points wins. So if you get the other one to break character or LOL, then you get a point. But I'm going to start out.
I practiced on my kids with these when they weren't laughing.
That means they're great.
Yeah,
My kids-
that means they're good dad
My
jokes.
kids
Yeah.
are old. My kids are old, or they're just like, that's stupid. I'm like,
All right, so when I told my wife this, she was like, "Oh, did you get the one I sent you?" And I was like, "Oh, no." And so she sent me one, and I think it's perfect to start out with, just a blanket one. And it goes, "Due to the quarantine, I'll only be telling inside jokes." All right. That's
terrible.
The reason why I'm not laughing is because I already used that one.
You should be working for the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know, have you guys been watching like Jimmy Fallon, like his little, and these guys doing these little jobs from home with their wife doing the camera and stuff, and the kids in the background goofing around?
No, but I heard about
I
it.
watch them, and it's so hard for them to make anyone laugh, just because they're telling these jokes and there's no audience, and it's just like crickets.
There's no canned laughter.
I don't know. No, there's not even the wife's not even laughing. She's the one. Yeah, it's just different times. It's crazy.
All right, well, let's start. Let's do these. Let's lighten the lewd.
Not that kind of stream, man.
Yeah.
He told me they had to be clean, so.
Well, hey.
I think at this point it would have been better to be bad.
Yeah. Because now
well, we didn't know. Kids are home from school right now, so
So
you didn't
true.
want them
No one's
repeating
watching
us.
this.
There's a different audience.
No kids are watching. It's like, okay, when you did the monetization on this, you made sure
Yeah.
that there's no kids watching.
Yeah, it's like not appropriate for kids. I now have to check that every time. Not appropriate for kids.
Nobody wants to watch what we're up to.
Which, all right, so Josh, you're up.
All right. My friend says to me, "What rhymes with orange?" And I told him, "No, it doesn't."
Okay. I'm not gonna last. I gotta slowly float out of the camera when I have to laugh. I can mute. Yeah, nobody can mute their audio either. All right, I'm gonna give Josh a point because I kind of laughed. That caught me off guard. Sarah, if you're watching, bring me a pin. I gotta keep score.
Yeah, Connie's keeping score over here.
Oh, you got it. Okay, all right. All right, Steve, your go.
Two guys walking to a bar. The third guy ducked.
I think Kate's gonna have some major issues on this.
Yeah, this segment might not last very long.
Oh, all right.
Tell you, these are bad.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready.
And plus, I just gave you a highlighted one that was good. That I thought was good.
Oh. All right, okay. What did the drummer call his twin daughters? Anna 1, Anna 2. Come on, get me something.
What lies on the bottom of the ocean and twitches? A nervous wreck.
I told my girlfriend she drew her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised.
Correct. I think Kate's one of those people that just laugh at anything.
Is my face turning red?
You guys got little kids, so everything's like,
No, see, here's where I have a little advantage, is I actually work with my father, and he literally tells a lot of these jokes.
Oh, wow. Well, I can see my dad doing the same. Dogs can operate MRI machines, but cats can?
Oh.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one actually.
Okay, I'm going off script. I just remembered one. Which side of the chicken has the most feathers? The outside. Steve's face. He's all in.
What to say to you?
I
think in dad time, go on.
This morning, Siri said, "Don't call me Shirley. I accidentally left my phone on airplane mode."
Quote from Airplane.
That one I thought was clever.
Yes. See, that would work for dads who grew up on Airplane. Okay. Oh, this was a good one. All right. The Secret Service isn't allowed to yell, "Get down," anymore when the president is about to be attacked. They now have to yell, "Donald Duck." Steve.
No. This one is for Steve because he plays guitar. A woman is on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. The judge asks her, "First offender?" She says, "No, first a Gibson, then a Fender."
Okay, they got me.
That was good.
Yes.
It was good for a guitar person. Everyone else would go, "What's that?" That was funny.
What do you call it when Batman skips church?
What?
Christian Bale.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a moan right there.
Do you think glass coffins will be a success? Remains to be seen. Ah! It's on the delivery. And she even wrote this to me.
This was a strange one in these trying times. Want to know why nurses like red crayons? Sometimes they have to draw blood. Terrible timing. It's too early for this. Too early.
I went to a smoke shop to discover what it had been replaced, or I went to a smoke shop to discover that it had been replaced by an apparel store. Clothes, but no cigar.
I think even those shops are closed now.
Oh, here's a trying times one. My friend keeps saying, cheer up, man, it could be worse. You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well.
The eyebrow raise.
I thought you guys would have beards by now. I thought it was going to be one of those episodes.
How do you weigh a millennial? In Instagrams.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like this one too.
What kind
go ahead.
What kind of music do chiropractors like? Hip hop.
Hip hop. Yes.
That's clever.
Yeah.
For a chiropractor.
I hate jokes about German sausages. They're the worst.
I used to hate facial hair, but then it grew on me.
That's what happened to me.
I know. That's what I thought you'd have.
Actually, well, I did shave it off today. Because I did.
You were camera ready?
Yeah, I had to be camera ready. Did my hair, took a shower, brushed my teeth. Although y'all wouldn't tell if I brushed my teeth or not. All right, well, Connie, what's the score?
Well,
Connie is not keeping score.
well, I wish you guys would tell me if there's like smiles, but I have Josh with 3, Cade with 2, Steve with 2.
All right. Well, we'll call it a win for Joshua. And
I think it's a win for everybody that you had to sit through all these jokes.
I've got one more here because this one is pretty solid.
okay.
Why do ducks have tail feathers? To cover their butt quacks.
Yeah.
Your kids would probably like that.
Yeah.
My kids would definitely like
Yeah.
that one.
Oh yeah. My 4-year-old.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, my 4-year-old. If you say anything with poop, she just cracks up.
Oh,
You
is that that
you
age?
should tell the joke that you accidentally told in front of Jeremiah.
Okay, so this joke is, or this live stream is not geared for kids, correct?
Right.
All right. I mean, it's not bad, but my son was telling a bunch of jokes, and I mean, making up jokes. You know how kids do that, and they're just not good at
That's
all.
terrible.
So we found a website that had a bunch of jokes for kids or whatever, and I wasn't necessarily proofreading them before I actually read them out loud. And all of a sudden, we came across this one, and without even thinking, I just read it. What kind of bees make milk? Boobies.
I've heard that. That's funny.
And so that's my son's favorite joke now.
Oh, great.
Wow.
I was like, you can't tell that one at school.
Yeah.
I was like,
Movies.
and the funny thing is he doesn't understand it yet, but he thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
The reaction that we had.
He's like, I know this joke
I read the joke and started laughing, and then Connie's looking at me horrified.
Yeah, keep him away from your pastor.
Yes.
Well, all right, we'll move on to what we were talking about before. Hope everybody got
What
their.
were we talking about? I wasn't here.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up. You know, you were supposed to be leaving for the conference. Now, this was the first time that all 3 of us were going to be at the conference together.
This is
Well,
true.
Connie, weren't you going to be there too?
Yeah, Connie was going to be there too.
All
be there too?
4 of us, I guess if you want to be. They're a pair, you know. That's just like. I don't.
Okay.
I don't need no dad jokes. So
Just took away all of Connie's personal human
I'm gonna go now.
rights in one step,
well, and
one comment.
one of the notes I wanted to put off. That was weird. Say was Steve was going to teach a class and I was going to teach a class, and I think ours were going to be so popular, they put us at the end of the whole conference on the Sunday.
That's not nice.
Yeah, Steve was going to anchor the whole thing. He's going to close the whole show.
No one in
Bat and cleanup, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll run to the airport. Stop. I'm telling you.
See,
Anyway.
he was worried about not being able to, get the proper crowd there because there was a hands-on going on at the same time, talking about Herbst, and he's going to cover fitting bands, and so he was like, the people who need to watch this are going to be at the hands-on.
We would have figured something out. That was not going to happen. Like that would have been weird. It would have been a waste of time. We would have figured it out.
Yeah. Well, we were going
to
record the whole thing so we could put it out later and they could watch it. And mine, I didn't mind if nobody showed up because, I'd probably do a better job if nobody showed up.
Well, we have more time to prepare. So we'll get it right this time.
Yeah, you can work on your punchlines.
Anyway,
that chicken one was my opening line, so...
You should definitely use that one.
Yeah. Well, and I used it before in my last presentation, and I said it was because my son came to me and goes, "I have a joke for your presentation, Dad." I was like, "All right, tell it to me." And he told me that chicken one with the feathers on the outside. I was like, "Yeah, totally going to use that." And I also told a story about him when he was still little in a car seat, and he was like, "Dad, I have a question. How much longer do you have to work in a lab before you become a real doctor?" No, how much longer do you work on fake teeth before you become a real doctor? That's what he said. I was like, oh, that's kind of genius. I didn't think about that.
Though there are times I get requests from doctors where I'm like, I shouldn't be the one giving you advice on this one.
Well,
at least legally.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doctors, have y'all heard from them a lot? Going into the next, how has COVID-19 affected your individual lab?
Yeah, I mean, immediately we started calling doctors because some were a week and a half ago, some were still open, some were still closed, and had plans on staying open. So we were calling doctors basically saying, look, if, at that point, the ADA came out with their recommendation for everyone to kind of shut down. And so we started calling and saying, what do you want us to do with your cases here? Because we're going to invoice them, but if you want us to hold them, or we can ship them to your personal address. And so a lot of doctors have given us their personal address for their house that we just are sending cases there.
That's kind of what I was worried about myself, was shipping to them. It seems like most of our offices, they got one lady working in there, each day, just to receive packages. So they're like, just ship it like normal. But I switched to post office because I thought some of them have mail slots, and if they're not there, they can just put them in the mail slot and they'll just be waiting for them. Steve,
where'd you go?
Did you find me?
I'm with you. What's up?
How'd you find him from your doctor? Josh, you tell him.
Yeah.
My I was in the same boat. I would just go into an office, and next thing you know, it's like we're closed. Okay. There's nothing much to say. Everyone's going home. Most of them, I think all of them actually have someone working, secretaries, or not a secretary, staff member, because they're just rotating to get someone some hours. They're working to answer calls and take emergencies. But the doctors aren't there, and it's the same situation. A lot of these kids had their braces taken off, and I'm sending this stuff, directly to addresses just to give them their stuff, because the braces are off, and then, after a couple of weeks, they're all going to be remakes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
As we know.
Yeah.
That flood's coming too, because everything's not going to fit correctly. Or we'll see. We'll see. For the most part, they shouldn't move too much, but we will see. It could be weeks.
A lot of offices that I've talked to, they were just doing, invisible retainers just so that the teeth wouldn't move. Because otherwise,
Right.
when they come back, you're going to have to either strap them up in braces again, or, fix them with a tooth positioner and a liner.
Well, so we may
it's going to be interesting when we come back.
we may get a lot of liners.
It's going to be interesting.
When we come back.
Yeah. Was that your plug for a liner business?
No,
Yeah.
we don't do. We don't do liners.
Greatest liner. No, I'm not. I'm talking about your other
Positioners.
positioners. She could be your positioner commercial.
I mean, that's certainly something we're going to talk about with doctors. Is that the truth of the matter is you're going to have some cases that are going to be relapse, and you're going to have a restart somewhere.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because especially when the doctors come back, they're not going to be like, everybody come back because we can't afford to pay anyone because no one's coming in yet. It's going to be interesting for dental labs, and I'm not talking about just ortho labs. I'm talking all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Every lab I've talked to is in the same boat. That is the one thing that's a saving grace, is that we are all in the same boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not just like the ortho labs got hit. It's not just the orthodontist got hit. It's not just the prosthodontist got hit. It is your neighbor. It's whatever job is on this planet got hit.
Yep.
There's really not a job that's safe besides owning a grocery store, and that's not good either because you have employees that are taking their health risks. I mean, that's scary enough. So, no, we're all in it together. That's the only saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The only thing I could say positive I'll tell you really fast, is the only thing positive. You guys got young kids. Like my kids, the only thing that's a silver lining is they're both home. Like one of them's out of high school now. She's a senior in high school, so everything got, collapsed. That, you're homeschooled. And my junior in college, girl on the swim team at Michigan State, they closed the school. Dorms closed. Like, bye-bye, school's over. I mean, so she's at home. So this is the only real time in my life that I actually have both my older daughters that are home together, that they would never be them together. Like this is not, one of them's going away to college, the other one is in college. They're not coming back. So it is kind of cool to be able to have them together. And when you guys have younger kids, they're always home.
Mm-hmm.
It's romper room because I was there, especially when you're trying to like do stuff at home. Trying to bend some wires at home with kids is you gotta chain them up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's where
because they want your attention.
Yeah, and that's where fortunate, and I'm sure Cade's the same way, is being the owner of the company. I have the luxury that my kids are allowed to be at the lab, so I can, they're sitting in the office with either my dad or myself, and they can work on their school stuff. I can't imagine the parents that all of a sudden their kids are home full time.
No, it's so different from every occupation. It's the strangest thing that we've ever gone through. We all lived through 9/11. Our kids, like my kids were at your age, your kids' age right now when 9/11 happened. So they don't really, they know what happened. They were, first grade, they were there, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going through it right now as young adults going, this is crazy. What do you do? Like, are we going to go back to college? Are we going to start school in the fall? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're such an uncharted territory. Like, is the economy going to collapse? Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's interesting. It's a social economic experience that I wish I wrote that. Do you guys feel this way? Like you wish like you'd wake up and go like, this is going to be the greatest Netflix series ever. You know what I'm saying? Like I could write this script.
Right.
Because it's never ending. It would have a trillion views because people would want to see what happens. Like you want to see what's going to happen. And we're living it.
Yep.
Like we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, and it's
an interesting.
You brought up 9/11, and the closest comparison that we can give to it. But the interesting thing is that with 9/11, yeah, it was tragic and it's a horrible thing. But within a month, life was pretty much back to normal for most of the country.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone is at home. They're wondering, is the coronavirus lurking around outside their house.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's the interesting thing is that, a couple weeks ago, if you were to tell us that this is going to happen, everyone would say, well, it's just an overreaction. And there's the point when it's like you can overreact and you think you're underreacting in the same thought. And that's just the weird thing about this whole thing.
That's why you get a lot of we said we weren't going to talk about Congress and stuff, but the higher ups that are making the decision, you get the exact 50% you're overreacting, 50% you're underreacting. And then we have that same thing in our minds, well, maybe he is overreacting, maybe she's underreacting, that's a great way of putting that.
News. Then you watch the news and it's like that little pocket that they show that they're trying to show the most exploitive thing, and
Yep.
Today on the news they were showing a truck backing up. Did you guys see that? I was like, watch that, and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, oh, it's the hospital in New York that they're backing a semi that's a freezer truck. I'm like, whoa.
For dead bodies.
Yeah.
They got nowhere to put. They got
realistically,
truck for bodies. They have nowhere to put them.
Yeah, realistically, it's,
then you
it's
go,
unloading
okay.
food.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're open to that. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Who knows? Hopefully it's a diner truck. Yeah, hopefully they're opening up some bad hospital food, but we don't. It's just crazy. Crazy times.
Well, what about
how this story's gonna end?
Well, what about everybody's got different regulations, and I can start. Our governor of Texas put out the whole no gatherings under 10 and 6 feet apart and that kind of thing. And then we had a county, and I think y'all have counties too. We had counties that, so my particular county said all businesses are essential. So if a business can abide by the no more than 10 people and 6 foot rule, you can stay in business, which got a lot of flack. I mean, there are a lot of people that were like, you're idiots, you're killing us all. And then other people were like, if you kill the economy, you kill us all. So it was, that fine line. So I didn't know if anybody had, Josh, maybe Georgia, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can tell us, did y'all have any similar regulations that came down for y'all?
Well, our governor has been catching a lot of flack. The CDC is here in Atlanta.
That's
you
right.
also have Emory Hospital, which is very big with infection treatment. And he's been getting a lot of flack because he has not shut down the economy here. And he's a small business guy. That's where he came from. So he is, he understands the aspect of if you cut everything out, I mean, how do you jumpstart that? And I understand both sides of the argument. But, as of right now, we've obviously canceled schools. They're going to make a determination whether it's rest of the year or not. But he has asked anyone that is in that risk category, the high risk people, and shelter at home. But as far as everyone else, we're allowed to come and go, and still go to work. There's a lot of businesses that have opted to shut down. We also are doing like drive-through and carry out food only if you have to go to a restaurant. And I tell you one thing that's a sad story right there too, is on Tuesday they call it Takeout Tuesday. It was support your local restaurants, because I mean they've taken a hit too. Mm-hmm. And we went up to a coffee shop just to get a coffee, and we picked up lunch, and they were almost in tears just because someone came and ordered food.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's rough.
And I mean, it's hitting us all. I mean, we're fortunate too that, as a lab, I mean, we're still open, but we don't have to deal with visitors coming in and out. If anyone strange comes to the door, we're all on high alert, trying to, we don't want any infection spread in here.
You got the Lysol.
Humans.
You got the Lysol spray ready. Who are you?
Exactly.
Forget guns.
These people that are in the service industry at grocery stores and restaurants, I mean, you have no idea who's got what in front of you. The promising thing is we went to a pizza place, and the one lady was like, "Oh gosh, do we have any more gloves? I can't put any more hand sanitizer in my hands. They just hurt." I'm like, well, at least I know you're using it.
Yeah.
State of
Michigan's Oh, I was
Go
going to say
ahead.
that they're now asking
Go ahead.
and polling. You have to register your company if you think that you're essential. So, we're kind of reading the writing on the wall that I think that eventually they're considering closing down Georgia as well. Don't know that for sure, but that's just, where we think it's going.
In Michigan, we've been pretty much closed down for the last week or so. Like it's been, the governor just came on and just said everything's closed. Like we're closed for business, except for hospitals, grocery stores, and gas stations. That was it. So, but if I take a drive right now, there's still cars driving around. I don't know where they're going.
But
I think sometimes the people are just going out for a ride.
Yeah.
Something to do. But it's different. I think it's a good thing. I think the social separation will at least slow things down, but it's tough because some people are just like, oh, you're gonna be fine, don't worry about it. And I'm not taking any chances. I've been in a lab all day. I've been quarantined my whole life.
that's what Szara and I.
I've been in a 15 by 15 box. And I love it. I see my UPS guy. I say, drop the boxes off. I'll pick them up 3 days from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
we're good. He doesn't want to see me as much as I don't want to see him.
Us as the lab people, we can understand that. The trouble thing is, our kids just, I mean, they know why we're doing it, but I don't think that they fully understand. They can't fully process it. And so it's like, oh, can I go over to my friend's house and play? And we're like,
oh man,
I've
play on FaceTime.
Exactly. I mean, I've got the lab to think about. I've got 8 other people that are working there that are trusting that we aren't bringing infections in, and parents are at the age where they're considered that high risk. So it's like we got to do it for the safety of everyone else.
Could you have your parent could your parents stay home, or I mean,
if you know my dad, he's gonna.
Stay.
No.
All right, okay. He'd be like my dad. My dad told me. I said, hey, because you call your mom and dad at these times. They don't work with me, obviously, and I call them just to see how they're doing to make sure they're okay. And my dad's out, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just like, I gotta be with the people. That's how he tells me. I gotta see people. I'm bouncing off the walls. I gotta see the people. I'm like, nobody wants to see you though. Stay home. Like they actually have delivery services. They can you can go to Target.com and UPS guy will drop it off right at your house, whatever you need. And of course they, like our parents, Josh, and your parents, Kate, they grew up like my mom. Now I'm finally realizing why they were more of a hoarders than we were in our generation, because they didn't have anything to grow when they lived through tougher times. They lived through Vietnam. They lived through World War One. They were a little kid, or World War II, and now I'm finally getting it why they think the way they do. My mom hoards everything. Like she's got magazines from Time Life from 1980 right now.
Yes.
I named it. And I'm just like, why do you say this stuff? And she's like, because it has meaning. Like, you didn't live like this. I'm like, now I'm finally getting it. Like, yeah, I can kind of see where you take everything for granted,
Mm-hmm.
But will that change us in the future? I doubt it. But at least can relate to them a little bit. But like I said, my dad's out seeing the people. I'm like, just stay home. Just stay home.
My mom just picked up my 4-year-old to take her home. And I'm like, are you sure you want to be out? And she's like, yeah. You can't. She's a busybody. You can't keep her down. And I think, and my dad, he's like, I'm going to take a nap. And he's good, So, and that's how I would be. And my wife and I are kind of introverts. So this is perfect for us. Our 4-year-old is an extrovert. And our other 2 older boys they're introverts too. So this is like summertime for them. And that's what I tell everybody. They're like, how you doing? I'm like, it's like summertime. This kids are home from school. We're working. Thank God the daycare's still open because we can ship the 4-year-old off because she needs our attention a lot. But one of my sister-in-law, her son is the same age as one of my sons, and they grew up together. But he's an extrovert, and she called and said, hey, can they FaceTime? Because he's going through a depression and he's crying a lot. So I'm like, I don't know how these extroverts, it's just terrible times for them because they can't be around the people.
Mhm.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the future? You think you said it probably won't change us, but you think this type of thing will change our industry? Obviously, it's going to change a lot of other industries. Maybe you'd be like, maybe this carry out and this home delivery thing is a good thing, and they keep up with it afterwards.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think because we're online, someone will watch this at some. There should be a hashtag. Like, um, I was actually thinking about this because the people who are like, when people do come back to restaurants and stuff like that, it should be like hashtag tip 25%. You know what I'm saying? Like, because those people are gonna need more
Yeah.
money,
Mhm.
and it should almost be like the help the economy, like to help people out like that, get a hashtag 25%. Like for tips. That was like my way of thinking that. Well, that could help someone someday in the future. Like I said, we're on an online platform. Someone watch this. As far as our industry goes, I think we're going to be all right. I'm an optimist. I think we're going to be all right. It's going to take, this isn't going to be 3 months from now where everyone's going to be right. It's going to take years to recover this, to finally like to be completely, and that's when a vaccine comes out. I can tell you, like when people are just very safe to go out. I mean, personally, someone like myself, I was complaining about, I didn't go to a baseball game last year. We always go to, like, you guys probably go to Braves games or something like that. I go, or a Ranger games or something. And I always go to a Tigers game to support them. They are the worst team this year. Last year, they were so bad. But I would go to support them. And you know what I was complaining about? My wife's like, we should go get some good tickets because the tickets are really cheap. The team stinks. And I was complaining about the stupid net. Like they put the net all the way across. Now I don't like being in I don't want to look through a net. I want to catch a foul. That's how stupid we think. Now I just can't wait to be there.
Mhm.
Like I don't care, just to be there. You know what I'm saying? To live life again like that. Like the things that we take for granted.
Well, just like even going to the
So I'm
grocery
looking
store.
forward to that.
Just like even like simple things like going to the grocery store, like all the stuff I'm like, I take hand sanitizer if I've got the kids with me, and making sure that like it's stuff I didn't even have to think about before that now I have to think about.
You're right.
When you go to the grocery store, you like avoiding people in a weird way too. Like,
Yeah.
There's someone in that aisle. I'll go to the next one.
You
I
mean
Is
about
that the
someone for
weirdest thing?
coughing?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the weirdest thing?
I did that anyway.
Yesterday I was watching. You did that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's 3 people in this aisle. Nope. I'll come back later. Bye.
Yes. Yesterday I was telling my wife. I said, this is what this has come down to. I'm waiting for Trump to come on. I don't know if you guys watched that news report, but everyone's sitting there waiting, and he takes a half hour to come in, and there's just dead silence. And you can hear people talking because it's on CNN Live or whatever. And every about 2 minutes, you would hear someone.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God. This is like freaking me out. It's like you cannot get away from this because normal people cough or normal people blow their nose or now everything is like so exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like you're on Spidey mode everywhere you go. Like, oh, I heard a sneeze, and I'm sure you feel like that with your kids.
Mhm.
Like one of them blows their nose, you're just like,
Yeah.
Kids, yeah.
Crazy time.
Both kids and the employees. I mean, we have a thermometer that will check your temperature. I mean, if all of a sudden it comes down where there's a virus inside your lab, I mean, shutting down everything and cleaning everything, and then you're done.
And we're totally under the placebo effect too, because if someone's like, I don't feel good, so I'm like, I don't feel good either.
Yeah.
mental craziness.
Well, let's transfer one last topic, and it's what are you doing with your extra time now? And so one of the things that I wrote down was live streaming the church services now. So I pick my live streaming gear up and I go on Sunday. And last Sunday was the first time nobody was there. The band was on the stage, sound was on, but nobody was there, and we were just live streaming out. It was the weirdest feeling, and odd thing that things I don't think about because of what's happening is I have to live stream a funeral service on Saturday.
Oh, sorry.
because the family can't, all the family can't be there, and it
That's
was,
really weird.
yeah, wouldn't it? So I'm live streaming that, so the family, 11 and over, that couldn't come, can watch and be a part of it. And I was like, man, this is weird times right now.
We're actually live streaming a baptism tonight because people can't be there. So that's what we're doing tonight is a baptism, live streaming that.
That's, yeah, something where the family comes together and mourns together, celebrates together, as with a baptismal or a wedding. One of our youth pastors got married in, and I think it was right before the limit came out, and so they were able to even go on a honeymoon and leave the country. So I thought that was perfect timing for them. It was just a couple weeks ago. Amazing what a couple weeks change.
But I guess if you want to have a cheap wedding, now's the time to do it. Have 9 people there.
Or if you didn't want your in-laws family there. No.
You get married on Skype. You got
exactly.
You got the witnesses, and you got 3 people on the screen, and I do. Where's the ring? Not even.
Like everyone will send an IOU. Like, we'll pay you someday.
Yeah. Well, I put down, Steve, are you doing
Things get
music?
better someday.
Are you doing more music now? You don't look very slowed down in the background. Your pans are still up there.
No, I told you the one thing about this business is I've always been like 5 weeks out. I've always had, which I think it's comforting. Like, I don't know. Like, I always thought, like, well, if everything's shut down today, I at least got 5 weeks to figure this out. Like, if I lose all my accounts at one time, which is, when's that going to happen if a nuclear war hit? Like these are, of course, I didn't have pandemic on my list. Never thought of that would happen, but
I think I'm about 5 weeks out.
Getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just getting rid of stuff. I don't know. Just I think it keeps my mind working. You know what I mean? My wife did. I just had enough work. Of course, I'm working at a snail's pace too.
Yeah. Oh.
So just like kind of keeping things going just to keep my mind off of things. I'm playing a little guitar. We play cards every night as a family, which is we have like a little tournament going.
Oh, that's great.
It's pretty cool. And one of my friends from Facebook, he wrote this quote, and I'm sure you probably saw it, but it said like, half of us, when this is all said and done, half of us are going to be the greatest cooks, and other half are going to be alcoholics.
because
So is
the
that true
liquor
at some point?
store, the liquor store is an essential business.
And now I know what that whole prohibition was such a big disaster. Now I know what they were fighting for. They hit the depression. Don't take away our booze.
Yeah.
like don't. So yeah, I've playing my guitar, playing piano. My kids have been entertaining me. Luckily, they love playing piano. So I open my lab door and I just listen to them play all day.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we've been enjoying that. They're getting, both of them are accomplished piano players. So both of them are on the college swim team, and they're not doing anything. They're coming down and exercising in my basement, so they entertain me. Other than that, like I said, it's pretty much normal because I'm in quarantine every day.
That's,
I just can't go out. But I do like making deliveries. I like talking to the doctors. I like having that social interaction with the girls, with the ladies working there, with the lab techs. It's all gone, obviously. I mean, who knows how long it's gonna last, but I do look forward to those visits and stuff. My UPS guy comes. He always comes and has a little chat with me every day. Now he's just throwing stuff out the door and running.
Catch.
So.
Well, Josh, I have your Instagram up, and you've been playing around with printing masks.
Yeah, we just wanted to, while the area that we have right now isn't heavily taxed, from what I understand, Atlanta is starting to get that way. But we reached out to our local hospital and just said, look, we've got 3D printers. We did some trial runs of some different nozzles and stuff for respirators and stuff like that. That said, hey, if you need it, we can give us a call and we can try helping. There's other local businesses that they haven't gotten back to me yet, but we just let them know that we're here for you guys. I know that Form Labs was testing how to do test kits for the coronavirus. So we signed up, that if they needed us to make test swabs or something like that, we can 3D print those as well.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat with that. That's one of these cool things is we all have little machines in our house that could make our labs or whatever, that can make these things, to make the respirators. And
yeah.
So we could help, but that might be our new outlet, I guess. But I hope it doesn't come to that, to be honest with you. And plus, we're all going to run out of resin at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
And IPA, and like my IPA is getting low. And
yeah. And I
we
order
weren't prepared for this.
I order mine from Steve Zara's Amazon page, and it's out of stock. Update your Amazon page, Steve. Come on. Yeah.
I know. Update. It's all out of stock. But I think it could be a government outlet for us, whether we're doing it for free because we have to, or we start working for the government to be able to print respirators or do something that saves someone's life. I said, personally, I'm not in it for money, but just be more or less to do it. But like I said, there's a shortage of product. You only have so much resin to be able to do it. You only have so much IPA. Who's going to stock us and who's going to pay for that? And, there's a lot of red tape, and things go so slow at the government right now. They're just trying to get those machines built. And that's one of the things that, I'm in Ford country, if you guys know that. And try to build the actual machines. That's a cool.
Oh yeah, they stopped making cars and start making.
The car industry is out of business.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that not talking about Congress, but the reality is they need these ventilators, and these employees at Ford and GM and Toyota, these car manufacturers that can actually produce these parts, and because they have the machinery to be able to, they can do anything. I mean, we can do anything. We're America. We can do anything.
Right.
We'll figure it out. They'll be rolling out 1,000 of those a day. You know what I'm saying? Like easily, if they want to. But the whole thing with this government is like, well, we don't want to buy them yet because they're $50,000 each. And what if we don't? But right now, the whole world needs them. So it's a world pandemic. You don't think, what happens when Haiti gets this?
Yeah.
They have nothing. We need to ship 50,000 of them to them on a truck, like a boat today, So they're going to need our help. So it is something that we just have to work together. For Ford, they're just kind of waiting for the order, like how many can we make, like how many, because obviously they cost money to make, this whole thing about splitting ventilators and it's getting a little scary out there. They do have the technology to be able to get this going, and we just gotta do our, and like I said, you guys in your lab, and Kate, you might be printing respirators. We could do it.
Well, that's what
every single person who has a 3D printer can do it.
It's crazy if we could get all the 3D printers in our industry, not linked up, but all producing, we might be able to flood the market.
But we could, because we have nothing to do.
Yeah. Like, give us something to do.
Like, keep our minds busy. Let's, work for the common cause of humans. But this whole red tape about, like when I was watching the guy from Ford, the chief Bill Ford, he's talking about, he's just like, we need the order because we don't know we're doing it right now for free. Like it's unpaid. It's like, let's just see what happens. We'll start producing them to get the ball rolling, because 3 weeks from now might be how many people are going to suffer before they get them, when we could have got them rolled out. And like my mom said, I was talking to my mom real fast. I'll just finish this. I was talking to my mom, and she was just saying, like, during wartime and where she grew up, there was this place called Ford City, and I didn't know the history of it. I grew up in it. To me, it was Ford City Mall. It was a mall. Like you go to buy Gap pants and, shorts. It's a mall. But she was like, do you know what Ford City was? And I'm just like, it's a mall, Mom. I know. I grew up there. I was in Chicago. And she's like, no, that was actually the ammunition plant. It was a car. It was Ford. And it turned into the ammunition plant where they made bombs and they made bullets. And she goes, your grandpa used to work there. And she goes, when the war was over, they converted it into a mall, and now it's called Ford City. And I'm like, oh, so, and she's like, it was actually from the car manufacturer Ford who did that. So we could do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people want to work. They can convert all their conveyor belts into making respirators, and or ventilators. But it can be done. Just we got to do it.
And you hit it on the head before.
New York's not the only one that's gonna.
Is the red tape? I mean, yeah, we can print respirator parts, but at this point, the governing body is still the FDA. So I mean, if know that they can use it, I could be literally printing thousands of parts that are useless.
Right, and that's where we can't. That's why we're not doing anything. Like we don't have waiting for all that. And the parts seem to work pretty good too. I mean, you see what our printers can do. I mean, wow, things are, incredible. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes.
Well, I thought Chris.
Anyway, I think you guys should, take care.
Well, I think Chris had a good point. President of AOLP, he said, and we used to make freaking tanks within a week. Just flip a switch, start making something else, and it's.
Well, exactly, and that was the other thing that my mom said. She's just like, in our history, because we're in Detroit, people talk about it a lot. When we converted a car manufacturer into producing B-52s, they rolled one out once a day, a B-52.
Yeah. Bomber. Oh my God.
Like on an assembly line. They took a car manufacturer and turned it into making B-52s that actually flew and dropped. Like, it can be done. A ventilator, that's technology. All those guys are engineers working there. They can make, and they're probably trying to design they're trying to design a ventilator that can do like 6 people at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be doing.
Yeah, like a hookah.
Like make it exactly. Hookah would differ. But the whole thing is about controlling the ventilation. Yeah. Each different person is different.
No, so make them all in the same
computer software. Everyone's sitting around a hookah with a pipe down there.
Oh, that's great. Well,
anyway.
So that answered all my questions, and I think that's probably a positive note, to end on, so we can all get back to work and get our work done. So, any last thoughts, Josh?
Connie? I guess I have contacts with a lot of the larger labs, the commercial labs out there. I have contacts with small labs. I mean, it's just, I know that everyone sees the sky is falling right now. We're all in the same boat. But, this is now the time where we're going to figure out what we're all made of. And, we're taking the time, taking advantage of the time of being slow, that we can catch up on some of the paperwork stuff from the business. So, whether it's that or, coming out with a better process of doing things, there's certainly things that we can do to try to make good use of the slow time. And, we're church going people, we definitely have thoughts and prayers as far as the entire industry. But we do have faith that God will bring us through.
I agree. Steve, you got any last,
You just hit the nail on the head right there. I'm 0. When I'm basically hit the caboose and there's nothing to do, I'm going to be more or less kind of reinventing the wheel. Like, what can I do that I didn't have the time to do? Like learning how to make, I was watching been watching videos like TMJ with 3Shape software and just learning stuff to better ourselves. Because we will get through this. One way or another, we're getting through this. And hopefully it's going to be better than ever. So I'm taking the time to learn different things. I haven't redone my color chart in 5 years because I don't have the time. I don't have the time to add new things for the kids. Well, I got the time now. So we all got the time. So call your parents, talk to an old friend, catch up on those people from high school that we don't talk to ever. Because it's all about time. We never have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do we agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's always an excuse. Like, I would call that person, but I just don't have the time. And it's true. We're always busy. I mean, so this is the only time that we got the time. Of course, it's a weird time, but at least we could do things. But I'm not going to sit around and just like watch the sky fall. I'm just going to, I can't. I'll be working on YouTube videos or doing something to better myself, to better other people. Because we get, like Kate and I had a call from Iran today, like a person contacted me saying that they wish that I could like teach them something. And I'm getting in this weird conversation with them and they're just like, we're afraid of the coronavirus just like you. It becomes human. Mm-hmm. Like 2 months ago, we were talking about going to war with them. And now it's just like, now I want to help them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to, like, and they're saying the same thing. Like, I hope your family is well. I hope this all brings us more together than keeps us apart. And once America, when we defeat this thing, we're going to be the life support for all these smaller countries.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff that everyone needs to help with. Churches, like everyone needs to throw in. And because if they don't get rid of the pandemic, like if they, these countries like Colombia start getting the virus, and it's just going to come back to us eventually. Like until there's a vaccine. So on that note, I hope you guys are good with your families and everyone stays healthy. Obviously, I don't know anyone personally has this, which is to me the best news.
Right.
And hopefully it doesn't, I don't know it personally. I don't know my dad's friend has it. Like, that's good. So it hasn't hit home yet. But yeah, I hope for everyone for the best, and take care of your families.
Well, I'd like to let everybody know the NADL, the National Association of Dental Labs. So if you follow them, they just did a webinar yesterday that I listened to, talking about employees, how to handle HR, letting people go as to paid leave, that kind of thing. But there's a bunch of info on their site now, nadl.org. So if you have any questions about your personal situation of your lab, I'd go there. And also, as Steve said, learning new things. They have opened up all their online classes for free until May something. So you could get on there, learn something new in your free time. Daniel Schwartz said he's decided to remodel his lab, and I thought that's a great idea. And so,
my lab has never been so clean.
Yeah.
My daughter comes down and she's Clorox and wipe and everything, and she's just like, it needs to be clean. It needs to be clean. I'm like, yeah, this is the first and only time you're going to see this place like I could eat off these countertops.
Yeah, we have that scheduled for next week, the deep clean.
Oh yeah.
My uncle owned a business. He was a restaurant, and he's like, I had the cleanest restaurant in all of Michigan, but no business. So he always saw like a dirty business is a good business. Like that was always his motto. Like, if you're not dirty, you're not making money. Like, I'm saying like stuff's. I don't mean dirty wise. I mean like you're busy. So he's like, yeah, I had the cleanest business ever, but no money coming in. So right now we got clean labs.
Yeah. So yeah, remodeling, doing things like that. So I'll try to have more of these quarantine live streams in the future. Just kind of have everybody continue to connect with each other, know that we're all in the same boat. So with that being said, I'm going
hopefully
to.
we'll have some good. Hopefully we'll have some better news.
Yeah.
Hopefully we could start talking about the comeback and like what's our labs, what's our like
Yeah.
how businesses are coming back and who they're hiring or what I'm saying, like hopefully we got some.
Well,
I'm not going to say hopefully. We are going to have some positive stuff to say because I'm not going to sit there and we'll get through this.
Yeah, but until then, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your face, and don't touch your friends.
So elbow bump for everybody as we sign off, and we'll be back hopefully next week. Yeah, there we go. So until then, happy bending.
Isn't it weird that we would have been elbow bumping in person?
Yeah, yeah.
3 hours from now. Is that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
I'm a hugger. No, I'm not a hugger. So.
I am.
All right, I'll sign off. I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for tuning in, and